If you have data like this, where I have a list of part numbers, but I also have a list of internet web links to the images of those part numbers, what I'd like to be able to do is turn these part numbers into clickable links that follow these web links. So that way I could have something like this, where the user could click a part number, and it would open the browser and navigate to that web link. So if I wanted to see something else, I click a part number and open up that link. Excel has a built-in hyperlink tool to blend these two items together, but I want to do the exact same thing but through Power Query. Now I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is we can blend these two things together in Power Query. The bad news is when Power Query outputs that information back to Excel, it won't be clickable because Power Query doesn't understand how to create actual clickable hyperlinks. It understands how to create the structure of the link, but not a clickable interface. So what we'll do is we'll use Power Query to create these objects, but then use a small bit of VBA to turn these into actual clickable links. So let's get going. Be sure to download this file and the solution file so you can have access to all of the Power Query steps, codes, and VBA code. So to begin with, we have our model numbers and our image web links. This is a proper table named link test. So we'll go up to Data and choose From Table Range. In Power Query, what we need to do is to create the equivalent of the hyperlink function in Excel. If you're not familiar with how the hyperlink function in Excel works, here's a quick explanation. We'll start with the hyperlink function, and hyperlink has two arguments, a link location and the friendly name. Now the link location is the cell with the web address, so I'll just go ahead and click here in cell B5, comma, and then the friendly name is what you want the user to see. And this can be an English description, it can be somebody's name, an email address. In this case, I'm going to click the model number cell, A5. I'll close parentheses, and when I hit enter, I see that model number repeated. But notice now this is a clickable link. If clicked, this will follow that hyperlink. So let's see how we can mimic this behavior inside of Power Query, even though Power Query does not have a hyperlink function. To make this next steps formula a little bit easier to read, let's rename these columns. So I'll rename this from model number to just model num without a space, and we'll rename product image link to just link. Let's now go up to add column, custom column. I'll rename this to model number click to see image. Now the formula for this. As I said before, Power Query does not actually possess a hyperlink function. So we will create one as a plain text string. This will look like the hyperlink function, but it won't actually work until we get it back into Excel and activate it. Now this function is going to be a little bit weird, so let's jump over to PowerPoint and break this down into pieces. The full text string that we'll create using hyperlink will be 5 pieces of text concatenated together. This is what the overall structure is going to look like. We'll have a block of text concatenated to the first argument, which will be the hyperlink. The second block of text, this will be the comma separator between the arguments. Then we have our second argument, which is the friendly name to be presented to the user, and then followed up by another piece of text, which will be the closed parentheses of the formula. So we're going to start with hyperlink. Now this is the part that's going to confuse most people. The text that Excel will get will be equals hyperlink, open parentheses, and then we have to feed it a double quote because the argument that's going to go in this position has to be contained in double quotes. For Power Query to represent a double quote within a set of double quotes, you have to use 2 double quotes. The double quotes you're seeing here in the black are for Power Query to understand where the text string begins and ends. The double quotes in red will be the open double quote for the first argument of the hyperlink function. We will then take that and concatenate it to the field that holds the hyperlinks. In this case, we called it link. That has to be concatenated to a set of double quotes, followed by a comma to separate the first argument from the second argument, and then an opening double quote for the second argument. The closing double quote for the first argument and the opening double quote for the second argument are represented by double quotes. And because all of that is a text string within this Power Query formula, that has to go into a set of double quotes on both sides. We then concatenate that to the next field, which is the model number field. That will be the user-friendly presentation name. Now, because the second argument has to go in double quotes, its opening double quotes came from the piece that was concatenated just before it, but it has to be followed up with another set of double quotes and a closed parentheses. So we have to, again, use the double quotes. This is for Excel's closing double quote close parentheses, but all of that has to go in a set of double quotes for Power Query to understand the text string. So this then becomes the finished product. This is what we have to create inside of Power Query. This will be one single block of text. Now for the Power Query formula, we begin with a double quote for our first block of text, which will be equals hyperlink, open parentheses, and then this is the starting double quote for Excel's first argument. So we have to put two double quotes. That's Excel's open quote. But now we have to put a third double quote. This is the closing double quote for this block of text for Power Query. Ampersand for concatenate. Then we'll point to the link field, and then we'll concatenate that. Open quote to start Power Query's block of text. And now we have to put the closed quote for the link field for hyperlink. So this will be two double quotes, followed by a comma, then the opening double quote for the next field in Excel. And now we have to close this block of text with Power Query's double quote, so another double quote. Now we'll concatenate that to the actual field name for the friendly field, model number, concatenate that to another block of Power Query text, so open and close quotes. But we have to represent the closed quote for the second argument in Excel, and to do this, we'll put two double quotes for Excel's quotation, close parentheses, and then lastly, our closing double quotes for Power Query. As you've already surmised, this can get very confusing very quickly, but if you do enough of these, you start to get a feel for it. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. And here we have the hyperlink functions to give to Excel. If I click one of them, we can see down here in our preview, this is the entire hyperlink formula that Excel is going to receive. From here to here is hyperlink's first argument. Notice it's the hyperlink and it's enclosed in double quotes. And then from here to here is hyperlink's second argument, the friendly name, and it too is enclosed in double quotes. We don't really need the first two columns any longer unless you just want to keep them. I'm going to remove them. And I'll also set the data type for this column to text. Let's send this back to Excel. So we'll go to Home, Close and Load. And this creates a very ugly, unusable set of data. Our task now is to actually turn these into hyperlink functions that Excel recognizes so they become usable. One way to turn this into something that Excel understands is to double-click the cell and basically go into edit mode like you're trying to change something about the formula, and then just hit Enter. It's this going into edit mode and coming back out that gets Excel to understand what it sees. Now, another way you can do this is to go to a cell and press the F2 key and then hit Enter, and that will do the same thing. But I really don't relish the idea of having to go through every single one of these hitting the F2 key, especially if I have hundreds or thousands of them. But let's say you only had 5 and you did it manually. You think you're done. Well, here is the wrench in the works. If you right-click the table and do a refresh, all of those usable hyperlinks will be reverted back into the output text strings of Power Query. And then you'll have to go back and re-F2 and enter on every single one of these. This is where a little bit of VBA comes into play. I've created a macro that allows you to select a cell that has a link in it, and then we can go up to View, Macros, and run this macro called Toggle Edit Mode on selected cells. If we run it, that will perform the same thing as going into and back out of edit mode. Now that seems hardly any better than what we just did, but in this case I can select the entire range of cells and run this macro and hit all of them at once. So again, if I right-click refresh, these all get reverted back to their text strings, but then I can select that column of output, go to my macro, run that, and revert them back into their clickable links. To see that VBA code, let's hold down the Alt key and press F11. This will open up the Visual Basic Editor. If you don't automatically see this code, then in the Project Explorer window, open up the Modules folder and then double-click where it says Relink URLs. If you don't see this Project Explorer, go up to View and activate Project Explorer. So this is the code that's going to iterate through each of the selected cells, activating them and then committing them. I put a fair bit of documentation in here, so if you're not completely familiar with VBA, you'd at least be able to read the comments and have a fair bit of understanding. So to repeat, I can right-click Refresh, and then select that column, and go to Macros, and run that code. But let's see if we can make this a little less step-intensive. Let's do the refresh and the conversion in the same macro, and assign that to a button, and that way we can just click one button and get all of this to happen at the same time. Back in the Visual Basic Editor, let's add a couple blank lines just before we start iterating through the selected cells with this loop, and we'll add this new block of code. This way, when we execute the macro, it will refresh the link test query and then iterate through the results of that query, converting them to actual usable hyperlink functions. Now back to Excel. If we go up to macros and we execute the macro, it doesn't appear to be working. It refreshed the query, but it didn't seem to revert these back into their usable hyperlink status. In actuality, it did go through and iterate through all the cells, converting them to usable objects. The problem is that iteration happened the moment the refresh was triggered. It only takes a millisecond to iterate through all of these cells, converting them. The query did not have enough time to refresh the data before that iteration occurred. When you're working with queries in VBA, VBA tends to run much faster in execution than the queries can in their refresh. So we need to force VBA to wait until the query has finished its refresh and then do the iteration. To do this, we'll go to the query and right-click and go down to Properties. And right here, there's an option that says Enable Background Refresh. We're going to uncheck that. This is what allows other things to keep processing while the refresh is occurring in the background. In other words, it's allowing the iterative part of the macro to execute even before the refresh is finished. So we're doing step B before step A has finished. By unchecking this, it will force step A to finish and then execute step B. So now I'll go back up to macros, run the code, and we have our updated usable links. So let me select all of my hyperlink cells, we'll run the code, that will refresh the query and perform the conversion. If you're like me, you don't want to have to remember to select all these cells before you run the macro, then consider adding this block of code to the macro. This will select that column, then refresh the query, and then iterate through the cells or the results of that query, turning them into usable hyperlinks. So to test it out, in fact, I'll click away from this data. I'll go to macros, run the macro, the query refreshes, the output of the query gets converted. If you don't want to have to go up to the View ribbon and click the Macros button and then pull this macro and run it, consider setting up a button in your Quick Access Toolbar that you can just click and execute that code. If you're not sure how to set buttons like this up in your Quick Access Toolbar, check out my link in the video description or the thing up there in the corner if it appears, where I have a very comprehensive video on customization of the Quick Access Toolbar. And as before, we can now give one of these model numbers a click and follow that link to its image destination. So let me know what you think about creating these types of hyperlinks in Power Query that we can send back to Excel and then convert to actual usable links. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to download these files from the link in the video description. And definitely tell us if you know a better way to do this. Half of the reason I make these videos is to try to see if there's a better way for the things that I figured out, because I'm guessing the way I figured them out may not be the best way. So this is where we rely on you. So put your thoughts and ideas down there in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember at BCTI, the learning never stops.